Good chilly morning to you. It's Tuesday. It's the day we put the garbage out. And a few things have happened around here in the last few days since the last recording. One is they came back and redid the area that they had patched in the pavement there. I'm not sure how it looks any different really, unless they're planning on coming back for something else. It was a surprise that they showed up and the same contractor did all the digging and preparation for the city. Came back to redo part of it, so I'm not sure why, if it's more compacted than before. I was actually out running errands while they were doing it, so didn't actually get to see what, all of what they were doing. I saw some of it, but anyway, that's that. Today what I wanted to get done is this one sprinkler head over here. Oh, lovely. They're parked all over the place now. I want to get this back to where it was. It used to be a pop-up. I want to keep the pop-up because then I can run the mower over it. And then I wanted to come up here. And I can see these guys are parked all over the cul-de-sac again. They just don't care about the neighbors. I'm going to take this pop-up here and convert it so that I can run micros to the back and have the water projecting out from the side of the house instead of from the street in towards the house. So I'm just going to adapt that one. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get cranking. There is a reason why I leave the adjustment until the end, because I get soaking wet. But let's see, what have I done here? I got the pop-up done, I got the micros done, I got things adjusted. Beyond that, I got the garbage out, and you saw me. It's Tuesday, tomorrow they pick up, so we get the stuff out because they start picking up early in the morning. We're early on the route. Got that done. You can see there's some on the driveway. There's still some adjusting needs to be done. I'll take another swing at it probably in a week or so. I wanted to get cleaned up there, so I pulled all the weeds up above, did a little bit more cleaning around, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for today. So let's see what tomorrow brings. Good hazy morning to you. It's Friday. It's been a few days. I think it's about time we hit the lawn again. Actually, this time it's not as crazy as last week, but I just kind of want to get on a schedule. I've also got the garden of light stuff going on. I'm going to need to pull those before I start to mow the lawn. I'm going to edge, I'm going to blow. Basically, it's mow and blow, part whatever. I think I'll set up, turn on some music, and get to the mow and blow. that was a bit of an adventure. Got the front lawn done. I think that's it for today. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Good morning. It's Tuesday. It's a little chilly, but we had a major rainstorm yesterday. Took care of part of the drought for Northern California. Some of the reservoirs partly refilled. We still got a long way to go, but it also sideswiped us here in LA and kind of cleared out the air. So yeah, but it also kind of left a little bit of a mess, and it's, like I said, Tuesday, so it's tomorrow's trash day. Time to get some things ready for tomorrow and cleaned up around here. Again. Not sure what to make of that. It's not coming from the neighbor, it's coming from further up. Don't know. Anyway, let's see what else I can get done. Well, I briefly considered pulling weeds, but it's still pretty wet. So I think what I'm going to do is just a little bit of cleanup here, and I wanted to take a look at the compost bins because I haven't looked at them in a while. So let's pull some stuff off and see. I also want to get rid of the standing water. Standing water is never good. Spider webs. Let's see if we can't get you a better view. Huh. Yeah, that'll give you somewhat of a view. We've still got worms. Hoping that's coming through. Whoop. You got away from me. We'll get him back in there. Sorry, buddy. Trying to get you back home. There you go. Okay. Yeah, there's not a lot of vegetation left in here, just some of the harder parts of the stems. Other than that, it looks like most of it is all broken down in here, and that's a good thing. All right, we got worms in there doing their part. So that's one. It's kind of dry. Put that back. Got another one. Actually, over here. Then I had all the plates, all the saucers from old plants. Okay, that takes care of that. Let's take a look at the next one over here. Now this is a bucket full of dirt left over from out front, which I'm hoping to get to sometime soon. Yeah, let's get rid of the water. Oh, interesting. We got stuff growing. And I just spotted something else, but one thing at a time. We have a little get you turned around. Sorry for all the noise. We got a little ecosystem happening here. It's all a bunch of clover in here. I can try and pick them all. And there's some kind of like mildew or something. Yeah, I guess I'll just kind of yank a bunch of them out. And see. But, alright, we got our stir stick. Wow, I'm not seeing much out of the old vegetation in here, or the shredded paper. That's actually a good thing, but it's also kind of dry, and I'm not seeing much for worms. No, it's pretty universally dry here. That's surprising. Well, yeah, I get my hands in it, I can feel a little bit of moisture. Honestly, there's not a lot of paper, the shredded paper that I put in here. It looks like most of that broke down. I'm trying to get down towards the front here. You see, yeah, it's a little bit more clay-like when you get down there. To the point where I'm going to need something to break it up, like the stir stick. Yeah, well, I've stirred it up a bit. I think I got to make sure I get some water in. Just things other than the clover can grow. Alright, that's should be good enough. Huh. Dirt's stuck in the pipe here. I'm not going to worry about that. Alright, let's put a couple of blocks. And put the cover back. Dump the water off of it. That's, whoops, that's pretty good. Get rid of that. Not sure how much of that you saw. Alright, moving over. That, and we can clean some of the debris out of this one that was left open. It's the same thing, it's just another container of soil from out front. I don't have any more of the large tops, so this container, whatever it contains, is going to end up being open. So yeah, maybe sometime soon I can get to that project out front. My knee is feeling a lot better. It's more my back, but I'm starting to get more exercise and that's helping. So yeah, that's it for the side. Let's take a look in back. Okay, about all that's left that doesn't involve getting horribly muddy is dealing with the swimming pool, which we still have kind of an algae problem. Actually, it looks like the last time we shocked it may have solved the problem, so I'm going to go ahead and vacuum. I don't know what it is with me and cables and hoses, but right in the middle there is a thermometer hanging about halfway down the pool there where you saw all of a sudden there was a bunch of commotion, and I managed to suck it right into first it got wrapped around the vacuum, then as I started to try and untangle it, all of a sudden it just shot right in. And I was trying to keep the vacuum underwater because this is a water pump. You don't want to let air into it for too long. It basically, I think the reasoning is that water pumps are water cooled. So if you let too much air into them, they'll overheat. But yeah, so then I had to reprime the pump and all of that, and then I got back to vacuuming. An interesting morning. And there's still some yellow on there, but I think we've managed to kill off the algae. Unfortunately, I actually vacuumed a couple of days ago, didn't record it, and right while I was doing that, before I went to vacuuming, I said, okay, let me try and brush down the sides of the pool, get as much of it off the sides down to the bottom so I can just suck it right up, and the brush broke. So we're going to get a replacement brush. We'll get those spots brushed off, and I'll probably vacuum again tomorrow. I think that's it, though. That's it for today. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Good morning. I was debating whether or not to shoot anything today because I was just going to do something simple, but it's going to be a bunch of little things. So I'm not even sure if I'm going to do the time lapse. I just kind of give you the occasional update. But here in the garden, looking at what I've got, I had cleaned out the bottom and replanted stuff. I think I kind of want to straighten this out. I mean, you can see that the caps, or the secondary caps, are tilted up, I think because the soil behind them has subsided a little bit. There's weeds back in there even after picking a bunch. I got to figure out what I want to do with that. And then I've got the carrots over here. So I think what I want to do is clean up and straighten up the second level. And then there's a question of whether I do something on the third level, and there's something on the lawn out front, just a little area I want to throw a little dirt on. And oh yeah, I wanted to separate those two pots a little bit now that I've got some space up above, since not too much is growing. And I'm going to pull that vine because it's this point it's pretty much dead. So I don't see the point in letting that continue to grow. If I pull it out, I can do more cleanup up top here. And we'll go from there. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and get some stuff done. And I'll come back and tell you what I've done. Okay, so it's a little bit later, and I don't know how easy it's going to be to tell, but I went up above and pulled a bunch of weeds all the way kind of from there. Didn't quite get under the tree. Kind of got to that point, and then I'll come back to it soon. But I wanted to get the third level kind of cleaned up, move the bell pepper over, move the plumeria. Now that I look at it, I probably need to level that off a little bit better, and rearrange the whirlybirds up there. So I think what I'm going to do is just rake the soil forward. You can see that last one is actually staying where it's supposed to, but I think I need to fill in some of the gravel there. I need to rake some of the soil forward and get them kind of level so it looks a little bit more presentable. Then I'll get to actually planting something either today or tomorrow, depending on how I'm feeling. So far so good. The knee's holding up. So back to it. Okay, not quite sure how quickly I went out of frame, but got the upper, or the middle bed, the second bed, I guess, got that kind of taken care of. It's not perfect, but I think it looks a lot better than it did before. I got those kind of laid out, but as it turns out, I couldn't put another one here, so I just ended up putting the stepping stone up above because I had carrots. But speaking of carrots, in the middle of all that, managed to pick a couple. I didn't know they were this ripe, so that's pretty good. We can enjoy a couple of carrots. We'll call that the harvest for the day. Okay, lunch is over, and this may be a real crapshoot here, but these are the seeds I managed to harvest from the last couple of beans we had. They're really tiny. They may not be viable at all. They may not be mature enough to do anything, but let's give it a shot. And so the thinking, first of all, I've got the carrots over here. I don't really want to mix with them until I come up with something to plant there, which leaves me with 2 in the middle and 1 more on the end. Okay, just for documentation, you can see I kind of did 4 little holes there. I need to cover them up. I found the old plant tag, put that there. Now they got a place to climb. On to the next thing. Okay, time to wrap things up. The phone's getting hot. And I'm kind of worn out. But you kind of saw some of the stuff I did there. So, finished the yard longs there. Planted some Black Beauty zucchini, because that was one of the ones that I couldn't quite figure out what happened. So, I just planted the seeds, a couple of them. And we'll see if anything grows. If it does, we'll see what that actually is supposed to look like, what those seeds actually were. Because I think somewhere there was some problem with some of the seeds where I ended up getting seeds that were mislabeled. Also, you saw me put in this nasturtium here, which looks a little worse for wear right now, but I had found it over in the white boxes over in the corner there the other day, and I was just like, oh, wait a minute, I could plant that in here, or I could plant it somewhere. It's a viable plant. The rest of it was weeds, so you saw me pull them all out of there, and I've got a ton of weeds up on the hill, so that's probably going to be the next video, is just me starting to pull weeds and get some control back over this. But there you go. That's what the gardens look like. Garden looks like. And I'm going to throw a little water on it. But that's it for today. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Good morning. It's Friday. It's time for the mow and blow, but this time, let's try and do it from a plant's perspective. Okay, that's pretty much it from the plant's perspective. I got a little bit more cleaning up to do, but that's pretty much it for today. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Good morning. It's Thursday, and if I stay on schedule, that means it's backyard cleanup day. But while I was heading back here to start cleaning up, I discovered something new. Yet another new project. This one may not be that bad, but it's just, I don't need more projects. There's enough to do around the house. But I guess that's just sort of what happens when you have your own house. Things happen, you got to deal with fixing them. Here's what's happening. There's water all over the ground, and so I turned on the pump out of curiosity, and I don't know if you can see it, there's water dripping down from where the top and bottom halves meet. So at some point I'm going to have to take it back apart again and make sure that the seal is properly seated. But I already had another extra project to deal with, and while I am mostly recovered, I've got my brother coming into town. He can help me out with some things. So the back deck has a bunch of these drains, so when it does rain, it'll drain out, or if we're splashing around in the pool, then the water splashes out, we've got a drain. That, along with, there's another drain right here, and a bunch of others, all work their way back out of the backyard and into the street. So, after I get everything swept up back here, the plan was that I was going to go to the first clean out and start sending some water down there just to make sure that it doesn't get clogged up. So let's just get cranking with the sweeping. I'm going to put some music on for myself, and here we go. Alright, well, you get the basic idea on all that. Next thing up, I've got to deal with, well, let me just bring you around and show you. Okay, that's the clean out that I was talking about earlier. There's a cap on it. You can see the brown hose, brown tubing running next to it. That is a clean out for the pipe that takes the water from the back deck all the way out to the street. And what we usually do, and I know it's not terribly efficient, but it's about the only way to really kind of figure out if it's draining, is to stick a hose down there and see how much water comes out the other end. See if it's coming out slowly or if it's coming out with the reasonable amount of force. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that set up. It's really not going to be all that entertaining to watch. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and I'll let you know at the other end what I find out. If it turns out it's clogged, then in a couple of days we'll have to go rent a snake with an auger on the end of it and run that through. So that's the plan. I'll be back when I have some answers. Good morning. It's the next day. I didn't get back to you on this. The conclusion was ultimately that there is probably some kind of blockage because it's running kind of slow. If I put water in there, the pipe is big enough, even with the higher pressure spigot on the outside of the house there. We've got two different ones at two different pressures. Put the higher pressure one in with the hose and flowed a bunch of water into it, and then it eventually started to back up. So that tells me that it should be able to carry that amount of water, even with some elbows in the piping and the rest of that. So the question becomes, how urgent is this? How do I take advantage of the fact that my brother's in town and can help me out, or do we just, because we don't have rain in the forecast, nothing like what would cause a problem. The last big rainstorm, this system managed. It didn't back up, and come into the house or anything like that. So we're good. But that's basically the update there. Today is Friday, and so it is Mow and Blow day. Before I forget, there were a couple of, if you watch really carefully, you may have noticed that there is a big root missing here, and there's another one missing over there. During the week, I was out doing little things, and all of a sudden actually it was when I was trimming the sticker bush that I happened to step on one of the roots and noticed it felt a little different, so I gave it a little bit of a kick and it came right up. So I think these are the roots. Some of these roots are coming from the pepper tree. Some of them are coming from a former pine tree. Let me see if I can find the where to go. There it is. It's kind of in there. You can see a little bit of the stump left over. There were pine trees in here that died, and we removed them ourselves. They weren't too tall, so we were able to get up. We were able to use a pole saw to take down most of the branches, and then if you can just sort of imagine, it wasn't any taller than the chimney is, so we were able to put a rope around it and pull it down. But that's kind of where we are on that. So like I said, today is Mow and Blow as I walk with my shadow here. I'm gonna go move the car, and yeah, let's just get cranking. Well, that takes care of the Mow and Blow, and the last thing you saw me doing there was that root that I mentioned that I had picked up, the second one. I just had to cut it down so it actually fit in the green can there. Otherwise, let's see, Mow and Blow's done. and I got a little bit of cleanup to do, get all the wires out of the way and what have you, put the tools away, and then we'll see if I can get to something else this morning. Okay, next on the plan here was I was going to upgrade the sprinklers back here, or on this side yard. I had already done this one here, which I really need to like cover up, because when I was trying to deal with that clean out yesterday, I just kind of kept really carefully stepping over it. I need to make it where I don't have to worry as much about it, or people walking their dogs who happen to go into this area. I don't want them to step on it and break the manifold there, the adapter. So I'll take care of that. Then I think the next thing, oddly enough, I know that little where you see the pipe sticking up out of the, not the one on the left, but the one on the right in white. That is the original pipe coming up, and then I moved it over a little bit. That's why you see that. That's just coming up above ground, because it's, anyway, I think I'm going to dig down, use that. I'm also going to see if that root is loose. So unfortunately it's rather sunny right here, so the camera's going to just keep overheating on me. So I'm just going to get some of this stuff done, and I'll pop in periodically and show you my progress. Alright, let's get a look at this while I'm looking at adjusting things. I still have two of the old fashioned, not even pop, just on a riser. But now I have a new, where you see the pile of rocks, okay, and it looks like this 180 is pointing exactly the wrong way. Sorry for the view there. Didn't want to get the phone all wet while I did that. So, alright, so this, now these are adjustable, so if I wanted to turn it down I could, but that's actually pretty good the way it is. Over here I have another pile of rocks. I'm trying to protect the adapters, but then I got a 90 over there and a 180 in there. And there should be, I'm going to get wet doing this, but there should be another 90 in here. Oh wow. Okay. We're getting a fair bit of water from the above ground, the old ones. But I'm trying to see if I'm going to have to move the phone out of the way again. Yeah, I'm going to stand in the way here, and you'll be able to see that that is not spraying. So here's the adjustment. Let's see if I can do this. You should be able to turn it on. You just turn that knob. There we go. Don't want to get the phone too wet. Yeah, that's pretty much full blast. Now we'll just aim it along the side of the house. Oops. That's pretty good. Alright, let me get out of here. Alright, that's a definite start. I only set it to run for about 3 minutes, so it should end fairly soon. See how wet the phone is. Let me shut it off, I'll be right back. Okay, I wanted to get the moisture off the phone before it had a chance to get in. This is always the last step for me, is trying to tune these things. Looks like I'm not getting quite as much out of these as I thought. But, I mean, I don't mind, like, well, I'm getting coverage here. Maybe that 180 back there could be moved over a little bit. I always try to leave a little extra tubing so I can reposition. But I think this is pretty good. Ultimately, I will be converting this one here so it's not spraying so hard against the chimney there. And this one, I think now that I've put in the micros, it's built up more pressure, so this is spraying fairly hard, but I'll figure it out. That's progress. It didn't go as fast as I thought, but I think I'm pretty much done for the day, so that's it for now. Let's see what tomorrow brings.